Lemont Unlocked at Pollyanna Brewing, and we've been here once before, but not for something that is going to be so cool to look at as this. I have Rob Moriarty and Ryan Hennebry sitting here with me. These are two artists from Lemont who have a display not only here inside of the brewery, but they've got one all over town. How are you guys?
Good.
Very good.
Feeling
Very
good.
Yeah.
We appreciate Pollyanna for supporting the arts and showing our stuff here.
All right, so this is kind of a new thing for you, right? One of you has been in here before. The other one, it's the first time. You were in here before, right?
Work about 2 years ago here, and with the LeMonsters On Parade theme in town, they reached out and perfect spot to show our work for 6-7 weeks.
Yeah, and this is really cool because not only do you have your work here, there's work all over the village, so we're going to get into all of it, but why don't you tell me first about what we got behind us, because it at first I didn't get what it was. I was like, okay, this is different from the LeMonsters thing, but in reality, these are all monsters back here. Take me through some of these pieces.
Sure. Well, this is a show of work of Ryan and my recent paintings, work that we've done in the last couple of years, and we were, last year when we were working on the LeMonsters On Parade, Ryan thought we should have a show here at Pollyanna after he had a very successful show here a couple of years ago. He said we should show some monster paintings while we have the Monsters On Parade. And I was like, that sounds like a great idea. And Brad Tomorrow and the Art and Culture Commission help run shows through here. And he helped us get a show here.
It wasn't what I expected. I think I'm going to say that right. It wasn't what I was expected because, earlier on in Lemont Unlocked, I got to meet the monsters that walk around the village, right? Like the characters that are part of the whole like Lemont downtown thing. These are a little freakier behind me.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. For instance, mine up here, it's taken from 3 buildings in Lemont. One building being 202 Stevens Street, where Astor Gardens is on the left, some of the ornamental work. The one in the middle is from a building my family's owned since the 1880s in Lemont on Canal Street, Hennebry Hall. It's from a pillar. And then the one to the right on that painting is actually from the Fridley building on Canal Street across the street. So I took photos of some of the motifs and some of the ornamental work, and I put faces and mouths on them and made them creepy and or not creepy. I don't know if they're friendly, creepy. I don't know.
They're a little creepy. The eye is freaking me out back here. What is that piece? Whose is that?
That's me.
Okay, so what nightmare did you have the night before you made that?
Right. The title of the piece is "Turn on Your Love Light." Turn right. And so nightmares, I don't think we're...
Now I have the Neil Diamond song in my head. And even though those aren't the words, it's close enough.
I'm okay with that. That's cool. So it's actually kind of, I think, I'm going to leave it up to the viewer to look at it.
Okay.
Really, I'm kind of playing with color.
Yeah, it's nightmare fuel. That's what it is.
Is it?
Like the skeleton in the middle is just kind of fun, right? Yeah, he's just kind of fun. But that thing freaks me out up there with the eye. That thing's got me a little weirded out. You're good. You're a weird guy.
I'm it's my job as an artist, right? To push. I don't think it's that weird. I think it's inspired by, psychedelic art from the 70s, thing about old Grateful Dead covers and stuff
I could see that. I could see that for sure. I was just at Bourbon and Beyond this weekend. Fish was there. I could see that on a shirt for sure at a Fish show.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I would, if anybody knows anybody, please have them reach out. I'm really good with that. I'm okay with that.
How important is it to you guys, and I'll ask you this, how important is it to you that a place like Pollyanna is supporting local art? Because, they have this empty space, and yes, it does help with, the whole visual for people that are coming in here, but they could put anything on that wall, and they choose to work with you guys.
Absolutely, and that's another shout out to Brad. For a while, they had Pollyanna has won so many awards. This thing was filled with awards, and they decided to take their awards down. I don't know where they're at, but every 6 to 8 weeks they put up new art, and we're appreciative of that. So we're really grateful for the support of Pollyanna Art and Culture Commission. When they have an opening here, when Rob and I have an opening, they give some of their proceeds from the back bar here to the Arts and Culture Commission of Lemont.
Take me around the rest of the room. We'll make sure that we show the viewers some of the art here. Over here, there's also some weird ones. There's a very skinny, messed up Grover. I don't know how else to say this, from Sesame Street. Whose is that? What's with Grover up there?
The two back there, that one over there is called the Sausage King of Lemont. You can see he's got the sausages there, which is a shout out to Taturas and Leon Sausage. I mentioned my dad's building and my uncle's building, my family building, Hennebry Hall. Way back in the day, it was a meat market. So that monster's wearing a apron as a butcher would wear, and a hunk of steak in his belt. And his belt is a tugboat rope right off the canal, by the way. So that's what that guy's about.
I dig that guy. What's the other one?
The one on the left that I did over there, it was actually my kind of precursor. It was what I started before I did my phase 2 of the LeMonsters On Parade that's on Canal Street. So this one is called Captain Blue Collar, and this is Captain Blue Collar 2, and on him he's got all these different eyeballs. He's got a life vest as he's working on the canal. He's got the tugboat rope around him. He's got a fishing lure for our wonderful fishing spots all around Lemont. He's got the hammer, and he's actually got some nails in him, if you look, representing some of the older buildings and some of the rehab I did with my father and brothers at Hennebry Hall and my uncle. And then the turtle shell and the bone that he's playing the drum on is an ode to my guy here, Rob. Rob did a series with, a lot of his monsters, the LeMonsters On Parade, he deals with skeletons and bones, and then the one he had is an awesome piece with a turtle. So I said, my guy's going to be playing the drums on a turtle shell, and at first I had a drumstick in his hand, and it turned into some kind of animal bone that you might see out here in the forest preserves or down by the quarries. So that's what that one's about.
Yeah, I think what freaks me out the most about him is that he's got some scary stuff going on there, and then he's got like Mickey Mouse's hands, which is a little weird.
He's got the 3-fingered hands, he's got the gloves. I'm not a huge Disney fan, although Disney, if you want to buy that off me, you can. We can make an arrangement. But
you have FX now. They could swing that. They could find a place for that.
So it is an ode off of some of my childhood favorite cartoons, and if I think of Tom and Jerry was one of my favorites. I loved Tom and Jerry was probably number 1. So some of the hands and stuff on some of those cartoons as I was a kid.
I can already tell your style's a little different. Like when you first walk in, I was trying to figure out whose was whose, but I know the one in the middle of those two has to be yours because there's mushrooms coming out of his head.
There are mushrooms indeed. It's a crown of mushrooms. It's a raccoon,
right,
in the midst of meditation, wearing a crown of mushrooms.
Okay. Yeah.
So that piece is, I guess, an ode to our local raccoons that live in the area, that live around my house.
And again, a little psychedelic. You go in that psychedelic thing, yeah.
That is a part, yeah. So, but the crown of mushrooms, and the piece is called Meditation on Mediation. And so just,
It's very cool. Tell me a little bit about this LeMonsters On Parade thing, though. This is not only in here. This is kind of part of it, but you have artwork down on the canal, correct? Is that the only place that it's at?
Right now, it is on Canal Street. It was going to be along the canal. We ran into some problems with the wires underground. Eventually, the goal is to be all over town. We've got other artists in mind to get on board. We've had artists in the past on. So right now we have 8 LeMonsters. This is phase 3. Rob and I were doing some community work 3 years ago, and Linda Molitor was awesome enough, saw some of the chalk drawings we were doing and said, these are great. And we talked, and we had the idea, Rob and I, to start this LeMonsters phase 1. 3 years ago, and mine started with I think I called him Trio. His name's Trio, and then he's got two like little kids. He's wearing a pair of Air Jordans. He's got a piece of pizza in his mouth. Just some poppy art stuff from like when I was growing up, loving Michael Jordan and, you know, Chicagoland area, Lemont pizza. Threw that in his mouth. And then in my second year for the LeMontsters On Parade, I did one called the Captain Blue Collar, very similar to the one that's on the wall back there, ode to the canal workers. And then this year, we did one. Mine was called The Ambassador. Rob kind of came up with that name, by the way. The Ambassador is opening his heart cavity, showing the Village of Lemont logo. Mine and Rob's love for Lemont. And along his belt, he's wearing a bunch of flags, starting with the American flag, of course, being the biggest. And
you got to do that.
Right in the middle, the American flag being the biggest. And then I went with cultures. I went and honored, you know, the Native Americans and the Potawatomi tribe, Chief Kivataw. I went with our neighbors to the north and south. And then I went with our churches. So I went St. Pat's and St. James being Irish. I went St. Alphonsus being German, St. Cyril's Polish, Lithuanian, Danish Cemetery, St. Matthew's Lutheran. I did the Slovenian flag. So I tried to hit the churches first and kind of work our way through some of the cultures that were the first European and white settlers that settled into the churches and some of the religious institutions. And one of the reasons we're known as the Village of Faith. So
it feels like I'm on the ground floor of something. Like as I'm talking to you guys, I'm feeling like I'm at the beginning of something that's going to become bigger and almost be on the calendar in the future, where people know this is the time of year when it happens, and there'll be more artists involved in the future.
Absolutely. Last year we got Mona Perry was the lead artist for the Lemont Culture Commission, and then she did one that was beautiful, Corey piece, and then Joe Shaka, former student of mine at Lemont High School and awesome artist who just recently moved to Kansas City, did a beautiful piece that's amongst ours. So we have 8 pieces right now down there, and we hope next year we add more for Phase 4. I've started recently, when I don't want to work on my big pieces, I've been working on local areas, menus and bags. So I've got Folklore coffee sleeves there that I'm putting monsters on. Lemon Tree, which I've loved as a kid, since I've been a kid. Butter garlic fries, the Southside Sub. I can't ever stray away from those two. I've got some of the monsters on those items. And then the Chicago Classic Pizza Box with the Italy on it. I've got a bunch of monsters around it. So I'm playing with just going all around Lemont. I've got more at home. Wooden Paddle, a Dolce Vita. It just didn't fit in the show.
I think you've named every place we've been to so far in Lemont Unlocked. I think there's one in there. One of them I haven't heard of yet, so we're going to talk afterwards. So we're going to add some content here. But I feel like you're reviewing the last couple of months here on this podcast.
Yes. You know what? I thought Tess was going to be here, by the way. You know.
I'm sorry. She's so busy.
Viewers, if Tess was here. Yeah. So it's great. It's great to show our work and support and show our love for this community and even the businesses here. So.
That's awesome. As you heard, Tess not at this one. These guys are disappointed. We'll get her back very, very soon. Remember, you can learn all about this, and you can see everything that's going on in the area at LemontDowntown.com. You can subscribe to the show at LemontDowntown.com/unlocked or any podcast player. We have a YouTube channel. There's so many ways to follow the show, but make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. And before I let you guys go, real quick, tell everybody where exactly, besides Pollyanna Brewing, I think this is very obvious, everybody knows where this is, but where exactly on Canal can they see the artwork, and how long is this going on for so they don't miss it?
So the show here is up through Halloween. We're having an opening, more of a closing reception, October 25th from 6 to 8 right here at Pollyanna. And then our work is on Canal Street between Lemont Street and the train station across from the new Marabella.
Listen, Rob, Ryan, I really appreciate it. We're going to get together again. I'm really into this whole art scene here in Lemont, and I'm amazed by what you guys have put out here. Make sure that you get out here to Pollyanna, have a beer like we're having, but also enjoy some art. Cheers, my friends.
Cheers.
Cheers.